Hi everybody, I'm Miss Cooksey. Today we're going to be talking about the linear equations of parallel and perpendicular lines. So to start off with, let's focus in on parallel lines. So parallel lines look like this or like this. They are lines that never intersect. What's important to remember about parallel lines is that they have the same slope. This is really important when we're talking about the linear equation. If we see two lines that have the same slope, we know for sure that they are always going to be parallel. Parallel lines have the exact same slope. That's because they are always pointed in the exact same direction because they never intersect. Another useful fact about parallel lines is that they are equidistant from each other. Equidistant is a math word that means equal distance. And they are always the exact same distance. They never get closer to each other or farther from each other. They are always the exact same distance from each other. Next, let's look at some examples of parallel lines. Here we have y equals 2x plus 5 and y equals 2x minus 3. These both have a slope of 2, so we know that they're parallel. Here we have 4x plus y equals 2 and 4x plus y equals 4. Well, if I solve for these equations in slope-intercept form by subtracting 4x from both sides, they would have the same slope of -4. Same thing with these two equations in standard form. If I solved for them in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b form, we would end up with slopes of +2/3, which means that both of these equations have the same slope. When two lines have the same slope, we know for sure that they are parallel because the same slope means pointing in the same direction and they will never touch. Now let's look at perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines create 90-degree angles, as you see in this example, and they have what are called opposite reciprocal slopes. So two big math words here. Opposite means positive to negative or negative to positive. So opposite means we're changing the sign of the slope. Reciprocal is a flipped fraction. So we're changing the sign of the slope with opposite, and then we're flipping our fraction with reciprocal. And let's look at 4 examples. So here, m equals 5. My slope is 5. Well, this sign here means perpendicular. So if my slope is 5, my perpendicular slope means I need to find the opposite reciprocal of 5. Well, opposite means I change the sign, so it's going to be negative. Reciprocal means I flip the fraction. 5 is secretly 5/1, so my flip fraction is -1/5. This is my perpendicular slope. It is the opposite and the reciprocal. If my slope is -3/2, my perpendicular slope, I'm going to change the sign and flip the fraction. So I have +2/3. Here my slope is -10, so my perpendicular slope means I flip the fraction. I have 1/10. If my slope is 1/4, my perpendicular slope would be -4/1 or -4. So this is how we find the slope for perpendicular lines. Remember, parallel lines have the exact same slope, nothing changes. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Finally, let's look at how we can find an equation that's either parallel or perpendicular through a specific point. So our steps, we're going to start by identifying what the new slope is. Then we're going to substitute the slope and the point into y equals mx plus b, or our slope-intercept form of an equation. Finally, we're going to solve for b. Figure out what that y-intercept is, and now once we have our slope and our y-intercept, we can write a new equation of a line. So here's our question. Find the equation of a line perpendicular to y equals 2x minus 3 through the point -2, 3. So first step, identify a new slope. Well, my current slope is 2, and I want to find the equation of a line perpendicular. So if my current slope is 2, the perpendicular slope is going to be -1/2, -1/2, because I am finding the opposite, which would be negative, and then flipping my fraction for the reciprocal, so -1/2. Now I'm going to take the equation y equals mx plus b and substitute in my point and my slope so I can solve for my y-intercept for my b. So my point is negative 2, 3. So I'm going to substitute 3 for y, negative 2 for x. My new slope is negative 1/2. And I'm looking for b because I want to find my new y-intercept. Negative 1/2 times negative 2 is positive 1. If I subtract 1 from both sides of my equation, my y-intercept, or my b value, is 2. So now I know my new slope, I know my new y-intercept, and I can substitute them in for my new equation. Y equals negative 1/2 x plus 2. So this is all of the basics for finding the equations of a line that are perpendicular or that are parallel. Remember, parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal slopes. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Make sure to subscribe if you're in my class so you never miss a video, and I'll see you next time.